let's just solve this. Just like benchmark 8a, I want to get the x squared by itself. When I do that, what you notice here is you get x squared equals negative 4, which technically is impossible. You cannot solve that. But with imaginaries, we can. So that cancels. 2 minus 6 is negative 4. How do we get rid of the x squared? We square root, and you get x equals plus or minus the square root of negative 4. Don't forget the plus or minus. Then the square root of negative 4 is technically not a real number. You can't do it, but with imaginaries you can, because you break it down to the square root of negative 1 and the square root of 4. When you do that, the square root of negative 1 is I, the square root of 4 is 2. So x is equal to positive or negative 2i. That's an imaginary answer. You're going to start getting imaginary answers coming up all the time now. So be aware to put the I. Whenever you have a square root of a negative, put the I. Okay, you're going to like problem 9. Plotting these. It's pathetically easy. Okay, instead of this being the x and y axis, all right, this is now the real number line, and this is the imaginary number line. Okay. Your real number line is just 1, 2, 3, 4, negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, negative 4. What is an imaginary number line? Well, that is 1i, 2i, 3i, and so forth. And this would be negative 1i, negative 2i, negative 3i, and so forth. It's not too difficult. And what we're going to do is we're going to plot these imaginary numbers. Because what you see here for letter A, you have a real number and an imaginary number. Just like a coordinate. Real number 3. There I am. Real number 3. Imaginary negative 4. Well, I got to go imaginary 4. Down. The real number's over 3, the imaginary is down 4. There's your letter A. B. Real negative 4. Real negative 4 is right here. And that's a 1i, so that means I go up 1 in the imaginary. There's B. Not too tough. Pretty easy. This one, C. Do you understand negative 2 is technically negative 2 plus 0i? But do I have to put plus 0i? Not really, but if you want to think of it that way. So negative 2 is just simply right here, and are we going up or down anywhere? No. So simply, bam. It stays on the real number line, because it's a real number. This one, do you understand it's kind of plus 0? Could you add a 0 for your real number? So this one starts at 0, and it's 3i, so you're going to go up 3. There's D. Okay. When you're plotting imaginaries, you have a real number and an imaginary number. The real numbers go here. The imaginaries tell you how far up or down it goes. Plot it. Okay. This one, when you solve it, just x squared by itself, and most likely you'll get negatives in the square root, which you have to pull out an I.